Welcome back to Sleepy Palm Island. Tonight, we'll settle on the wide wooden balcony of a cliffside home built where the jungle leans out over the sea. Below, the waves rise and break against the rocks, their sound carrying upward in deep, even breaths that seem to match your own. From here, the horizon is endless, the sea and sky melting into a silver glow beneath the moon. So get comfortable, pull a blanket close, and let's drift into tonight's story. The balcony stretches along the side of the wooden house. Its floorboards feel smooth and warm under bare feet. A soft breeze moves through the railing, carrying the salt of the ocean. The sound of waves rises from below, slow and powerful. They roll toward the rocks, breaking in white foam. Far ahead, the horizon curves beneath the stars. Palms sway gently on the ridge, their shadows shifting over the cliff. A faint mist drifts between their trunks, lit by moonlight. The air is heavy with the scent of salt and damp leaves. Somewhere below, water touches stone with a hollow rhythm. A lounge chair waits by the railing, its cushion holding the night's warmth. You lean against the wooden rail, feeling its polished grain. The vast ocean moves endlessly, each wave following the last. Dark cliffs rise from the water, shapes like ancient statues. Between them, smaller rocks glisten under the starlight. In the distance, a light flickers once, far out at sea. It hovers, then fades into the dark horizon. From here, the ocean feels close enough to breathe with. Behind you, through the open sliding doors, the room glows softly. Curtains hang loose on either side of the wide glass frame. Inside, shadows rest across the bed, but the sea holds your gaze. The balcony holds you in its quiet embrace. The wood beneath your feet is smooth from years of salt air and sun. A low hum of the ocean seems to come from every direction surrounding the night. The railing is warm against your palms, the grain fine and polished, catching the moonlight in tiny silver lines. Below, the cliff drops into deep water. The waves arrive slowly, each one swelling in the dark, folding over itself and breaking against the stone in a white rush that glows briefly before fading into shadow. The sound is steady, almost like breathing, a slow inhale as the wave rises, a long exhale as it slides back into the sea. Farther along the shore, great palm trees lean over the edge, their fronds shivering with each passing breath of wind. They sway as if speaking a language of movement, answering one another in slow gestures. Between their trunks, the sky appears and disappears, a shifting mosaic of black leaves and silver starlight. You can smell the palms, a green, slightly sweet scent, mingled with the sharpness of salt carried from far out at sea. The mist rises where the waves strike the rocks, curling upward in thin ribbons before the wind takes them apart. Some of the rocks are sharp and jagged, others smooth and rounded from decades of water's touch. One, standing taller than the rest, looks like the head of an ancient figure gazing toward the horizon. Another, half hidden by shadow, has the shape of a ship's bow, its surface shining faintly with wetness. The horizon itself is barely a line, more a suggestion where the deep black of the ocean meets the lighter black of the sky. Stars scatter across that sky, dense in some places, almost empty in others, like they've been brushed into uneven constellations by an unseen hand. The Milky Way drapes itself across the night, its pale shimmer mirrored faintly in the restless surface below. Somewhere, very far away, a faint glimmer appears, like a lantern floating on the water. It doesn't move quickly, but shifts gently, blinking in and out as the swells pass in front of it. You follow it for a while, not expecting it to reach you, simply letting it be part of the scene. The air here is alive with layers of sound. The deep crash of the larger waves, the hiss of foam dissolving against stone, the soft rustle of the palms, the distant calls of night birds. Each sound holds its own place, never competing, only adding to the whole. Somewhere close, you hear the faint ring of a bamboo wind chime, its tone warm and low, swaying with the breeze. The scent of the ocean deepens as the wind shifts, bringing with it the cool breath of the open sea. It settles against your skin, cool on the arms, warm where the blanket covers you. You draw the blanket closer, feeling its weight settle gently over your shoulders. The lounge chair nearby invites you to rest, but for now you remain standing, eyes fixed on the living expanse ahead. Everywhere you look, there is motion, slow, unhurried motion, the kind that belongs to the earth itself, not to people. The palms sway without rushing, the mist curls without breaking, the waves rise without forcing their crest. It feels as though time itself moves differently here. Behind you, through the wide sliding doors, the room waits in amber stillness. Curtains hang soft and open, framing the view like a picture. The light inside is low, spilling just enough to touch the balcony floor and fade into the shadows beyond the railing. You glance inside. The bed is wide and calm, the woven rug quiet under the table's legs, the leaves in the corner pot catching a touch of gold. The air from inside mixes with the ocean breeze, carrying the faint aroma of aged wood and the herbal tea cooling on the table. You turn back to the sea and take a slow breath, letting the salt and wood and leaf all blend into one scent. The sound of the waves fills your chest in a way the air cannot. A sound you feel as much as you hear. Somewhere below, small eddies of water swirl in the shadows between rocks, catching fragments of moonlight and breaking them into shifting patterns. Above them the cliffs stand steady, dark shoulders holding the line between land and water. You lean forward slightly, resting your weight on the railing, feeling the solid strength beneath your hands. The light at sea appears again, a little to the left now, flickering once more before dipping out of sight behind the slow swell. You close your eyes for a moment, and the scene stays with you, the rhythm of the water, the cool and warm air together, the quiet weight of the night. When you open them again, the stars seem brighter, the horizon softer. The palms sway in the same unhurried rhythm, and the bamboo chime offers another low note into the air. It feels as though the balcony itself is part of the shore, a place held in the same stillness as the ocean and the cliffs, a place where nothing needs to change. The night stretches without edges, and you stand within it, as much a part of it as the wind or the sound of the waves. Somewhere far below, another wave gathers its weight and begins its long journey toward the rocks. You can almost feel its pull, as if the ocean is breathing in before letting go again. And as it breaks, the sound carries up to you, filling the air and then leaving behind only the rustle of palms and the cool touch of the breeze. The night feels deep here, not only in the distance of the horizon, but in the layers of sound, scent, and movement around you. Every moment on the balcony seems to open into another. A wave passes, and in its fading hiss you hear the rustle of leaves. A palm frond shifts, and in the space it leaves you notice the glimmer of a star through its gap. The railing under your hands holds the day's warmth stored in the wood, now mixing with the cool night air. You run your fingertips along its smooth edge, tracing the fine ridges and knots polished by time. A bead of moisture gathers where the air meets the warmer wood, and your skin feels the slight difference in temperature. The scent of the sea drifts in again, heavier now, touched with the faint sharpness of wet stone. Far below, the ocean works without pause. Waves roll in, their dark forms swelling gently before collapsing into themselves with a muffled crash. The foam glows for a few seconds, scattering into delicate patterns before dissolving into the black water. Between the larger swells, smaller ripples weave around the rocks, making quiet sounds like a whisper spoken too softly to understand. The cliff walls are uneven here. Some drop straight into the water, others curve inward, creating small, hidden alcoves. You imagine how the tide must fill them, how the water rises in slow, patient surges, pressing into every hollow and then retreating again. From where you stand, the palms appear almost motionless against the backdrop of the stars, but when you look closely, you can see the steady sway of their crowns. They bend slightly with each breath of wind, their fronds sighing against one another. The moonlight catches on the edge of each leaf, giving them a thin silver outline that flickers as they move. Beyond the palms, the horizon stretches in a perfect, unbroken line. It feels impossibly far, yet close enough that you sense the curve of the world beneath it. A faint light appears again in the distance, the same one you saw before. Small, unhurried, steady. It seems to hover at the edge of the sea, blinking faintly as the swells shift its path. Perhaps it's a fishing boat, or a lantern on the deck of a vessel too far to see clearly. Whatever it is, it moves without urgency, as if it belongs to this rhythm as much as the waves do. You let your gaze wander along the coastline visible from here. To the right, the cliffs rise higher, crowned with more palms that lean over the edge. To the left, the shore curves inward, forming a darker shape against the water, maybe a cove hidden from direct view. The rocks nearest the balcony form strange shapes. One juts upward like the spine of some ancient creature. Another is flat and wide, its surface worn smooth, reflecting the sky as if it holds a shallow pool of water. Some of the stones bear markings that the waves have carved over years, deep grooves and hollows that look deliberate, though you know they are only the work of time and tide. The mist down there catches the moonlight in thin, shifting strands, drifting upward before the breeze breaks them apart. The air on the balcony carries that cool dampness, settling gently on your skin. The blanket over your shoulders holds the warmth close, making the cool air feel even softer by contrast. Somewhere to your right, the bamboo chime moves again. It sends out 3 slow tones, each fading before the next begins. The sound hangs in the night, low and wooden, merging with the hiss of the waves below. You take a slow step toward the corner of the balcony where the view feels widest. From here, the ocean is a vast, restless expanse, broken only by the moving light and the outlines of the rocks near shore. The stars above seem to mirror the scattered reflections on the water, as if sky and sea are exchanging signals. You breathe in deeply, and the salt air fills you with its weight and freshness. It carries with it the scent of the palms, the faintest hint of earth from where they root in the cliffside. Your eyes follow the slow movement of the water, tracing the lines of the swells until they reach the rocks. Each wave breaks differently. Some curl and burst with a sudden flare of foam, others simply rise and fall with hardly a sound. Now and then the wind shifts, and you hear the sound of a wave breaking somewhere out of sight, hidden in the darkness below the cliff. You imagine the water filling those unseen spaces, pressing into narrow passages before spilling out again. The night birds call in short bursts, their voices carrying far over the water. They sound unhurried, each note spaced out like a slow conversation across the ridge. The palms answer in their own way, their fronds brushing together with a sound like the turning of pages. You lean forward against the railing again, letting your elbows rest on the smooth wood. The waves below seem even closer now, the sound of them resonating in the boards beneath your arms. The distant light glimmers again, now to the left, now to the right, as if the ocean itself is moving it gently along. It disappears behind a swell, then reappears, small but steady. The sky above it holds a cluster of bright stars, their light steady in the still air. You stay there, watching, listening, breathing with the night. The balcony feels like its own small world, open to the vastness beyond, yet holding you in a quiet space where nothing presses forward, nothing demands. The air moves in slow currents around you, cool against your cheek, warmer where it passes your neck. The sound of the ocean blends with the feel of it in your chest, each wave like a long, slow heartbeat. Somewhere inside, beyond the open sliding doors, the room remains as you left it. Shadows stretched across the bed, the woven rug quiet underfoot, the cup of tea cooling on the table. The amber glow from within touches the edge of the balcony floor, fading before it reaches the railing. It is enough to remind you of the warmth behind you, but your attention stays with the open water ahead. Another wave begins its slow rise, pulling itself up from the depths, gathering its curve. You watch as it swells, its crest catching the faint light of the moon, then folds forward, pouring itself into foam. The sound reaches you a moment later, rich and full, fading into a hiss as the water spreads thin over the rocks. Mist rises again, curling upward, breaking apart into invisible threads before they can reach the palms. The bamboo chime sounds once more, a single note drawn out by the wind. The palms sway in agreement, their fronds shimmering faintly at the edges. The night feels as though it has settled into a rhythm that could last forever. Wave, breeze, chime, rustle, each part answering the others without haste. You remain at the railing, breathing with it, letting the scene fill you in every sense until it becomes the only thing in the world. You stay at the railing for a long while, letting the balcony become the center of your night. Every sound arrives at its own pace, and each one seems to invite you to notice it more fully. The ocean keeps its rhythm steady, a deep inhale as the swell rises, a long exhale as it folds and releases into the rocks. Between the larger waves, the smaller ones slip in quietly, their ripples playing at the base of the cliff. The palms above continue their slow conversation, leaning toward each other, then away again, as if exchanging secrets only they can understand. Now and then, a leaf turns just enough to catch the moonlight in full, flashing silver before drifting back into shadow. You take the blanket from your shoulders and drape it over the lounge chair, its cushion holding a faint trace of the day's warmth. The air moves freely here, warm where it brushes your arms, cooler where it comes in off the water. When you close your eyes, the breeze feels like the slow sway of the palms made into touch. You rest your hands once more on the railing, fingers curling over the smooth top rail. The wood is cool now, though it still holds the memory of the sun in its deeper grain. Far ahead, the horizon holds steady, an unbroken line between the black sea and the black sky, made softer by the faint light of the stars. That distant glimmer appears again, the one you've been watching. It is neither closer nor farther, only moving in a slow arc as the swells shift beneath it. You follow it for a few moments, your breathing unconsciously matching its gentle pace. From somewhere down the cliff, the water makes a deeper sound, a hollow echo, as though it has entered a cave hidden from sight. The note lingers before blending back into the steady wash of the waves. You listen for it again, but the ocean offers only the sound of foam sliding back into the dark. The mist rises thicker now in places, drifting toward the palms before breaking apart. It moves like breath in cold air, fading at the edges until it's only felt, not seen. You step back from the railing slow enough not to disturb the rhythm around you. The lounge chair waits, angled toward the open view, its fabric carrying the faint scent of the sea. You sit down, letting the cushion take your weight, the wooden frame creaking softly under you. The blanket is close, and you pull it over your legs, the warmth wrapping around you like the glow inside the room. The chair rocks slightly with your movement, then settles into stillness. From here, the sound of the waves feels lower, fuller, as if it rises through the boards beneath your feet. You lean back, eyes on the horizon, and the sky seems wider from this angle. The Milky Way stretches more clearly now, its faint clouds of light drifting across the stars. Each wave catches a little of that light before releasing it back into the darkness. The bamboo chime sounds again, just 2 notes this time, and their soft resonance fades into the hush of the palms. Somewhere beyond the ridge a night bird calls, its voice sharp at first, then quickly softening as it carries over the water. You notice the coolness of the air settling into the folds of the blanket, the way it brushes the skin of your hands. The scent of the ocean is stronger now, perhaps from the rising mist below, mixed with the earthy green of the palms. The cliffs stand unmoving against all this change, their outlines cut sharply against the starlit sky. The tallest rock outcrop still holds its statue-like shape, as though keeping watch over the shore. You let your gaze drift across each part of the scene. The cliffs, the palms, the open water, the glimmer far away. Then back again to the place where the waves meet the rocks directly below. They arrive there with a muffled roar, white foam spreading quickly over the dark stone before it slips back down into the water. The sound is rich and layered, deep at the start, light at the end, like 2 instruments playing together in perfect time. Your breathing finds that time again, each inhale with the swell, each exhale with the break. The balcony feels as though it is breathing with you, the boards and rail shifting subtly with the movement of the air. You turn your head slightly toward the open sliding doors. From here, you see only part of the room, the curtains stirring gently in the breeze, the corner of the bed in shadow, the faint glow from the lamp on the far side. That warm light touches the balcony floor, stopping just short of your feet, leaving you in the cool wash of moonlight. It's a soft balance, warmth and coolness inside and out, light and shadow, all meeting here in stillness. The ocean continues without pause, and you begin to notice patterns in the waves. Every few minutes a larger swell rolls in, its crest higher, its voice deeper. When it breaks, the mist rises higher too, drifting upward until the wind draws it sideways toward the palms. In those moments, the scent of the ocean feels fresher, almost as if it has just surfaced from the depths. You sit quietly, watching these small cycles repeat, each one familiar but never exactly the same. The light far out at sea shifts again, slipping toward the right, almost hidden now behind the curve of the swells. Your eyes follow it until it disappears, leaving only the horizon's steady line. The stars above it remain, unmoving in their slow journey. Somewhere, another wave hits the rocks with more force, sending a stronger echo up the cliff. It is not startling, only deeper, as if the sea wanted to remind you of its presence. You pull the blanket a little closer and let your shoulders sink back into the chair. The sound of the palms blends with the rhythm of the water until it is difficult to tell where one ends and the other begins. You feel yourself leaning into that rhythm, each detail around you becoming part of a single, unbroken moment. The chair, the balcony, the air, the ocean, all holding still in their own way, even as they move. The balcony no longer feels like a place you stand to observe. It feels like a place that is observing with you. The ocean ahead is the same as it has always been, yet every wave feels more familiar now, each sound falling into place as if it belongs to a song you already know. The palms above seem to move in time with it, their fronds keeping the slow, patient beat. You take another slow breath, and the scent of salt, wood, and leaf fills you again, grounding you in this space. The night holds steady, and you remain with it, unhurried. You let the chair hold you completely now, its frame steady, its cushion soft under the weight of your body. The blanket wraps over your legs, folds pooling gently at your sides, keeping the warmth close. Each breath comes slower, drawn in with the sound of the swell, released with the sigh of the breaking wave. The ocean seems to notice, matching you, keeping the pace easy, even. Your gaze rests on the horizon, not searching for the light anymore, just letting the line between sky and water be the place your eyes can soften. The stars above it look calm, their glow steady, faintly mirrored in the ripples far below. The air feels thicker now in its stillness, as if it has settled with you, holding the scent of salt, wood, and green in a gentle balance. The palms above lean toward each other again, fronds brushing in slow passes, like hands moving through water. You hear the bamboo chime, a single note this time, low and rounded, drifting off into the open night. Every sound seems to arrive with more space around it now. The waves' crash is followed by a longer quiet. The rustle of leaves stretches between breaths of wind. Even the mist's slow rise and dissolve feels unhurried, curling and loosening before it disappears into the air. Your hands rest loosely on the arms of the chair, palms open, fingertips touching the warm, smooth wood. The texture is cool, faintly uneven where time has marked it, and under your touch it feels alive in its stillness. Inside the open doors, the curtain moves just slightly, its edge catching the lamplight as it sways. The room beyond stays the same. Amber light, soft corners, the shadow of the bed. But it feels far away now, as though it belongs to another world entirely. Here on the balcony, the air moves in slow tides. One passes across your face, cooler than before, carrying the faint tang of sea spray from the rocks below. Another comes warmer, touched by the land, mingling with the scent of leaves and wood. You close your eyes for a moment, letting these currents pass over you without needing to tell them apart. The sound of the waves comes through more deeply with your eyes closed, each one a rounded, layered sound. The lift, the crest, the break, the retreat. It is not just heard, but felt. The boards of the balcony carrying a faint vibration each time the water hits the base of the cliff. Your breathing leans further into this rhythm. The mind's edges begin to blur here, thoughts slipping between the waves like small boats drifting off their moorings. You open your eyes again, slowly, as if there is no difference between closed and open in this light. The stars have shifted slightly. You notice a new cluster visible just above the palms. Their light is sharper now, the air clearer in the cooling night. The mist below drifts toward the cliff again, then falls away, revealing the dark, wet surfaces of the rocks. They shine briefly before the next wave rises to meet them. The larger rock, the one shaped like a figure, catches the light of the moon across its face. The smaller, flatter one holds a shallow pool again, its surface trembling with the faintest breeze. These shapes seem older than the night itself, older than the palms, older even than the waves that touch them. You let your gaze move back to the open water, where the movement is slower now, as though the ocean has settled deeper into its own rest. The bamboo chime sounds again, 2 notes this time, their tones falling perfectly into the space between wave and wind. Your shoulders loosen further, the tension slipping away into the fabric of the blanket. Each part of you feels supported by the chair, by the blanket, by the air, by the night. There is no need to shift, no need to reach for anything. No need to measure the passing of time. The palms bend slightly toward the balcony now, as if leaning in to listen. Their fronds move with such care that each sound is clear. A soft hiss when they brush together, a low sigh when they drift apart. Somewhere far below, a smaller wave breaks first, its voice higher and lighter, followed by the deeper sound of the larger swell behind it. The two merge into one fading rush that blends with the rustle above. You let your head tilt back against the chair, eyes tracing the arc of the Milky Way overhead. It runs from one side of the balcony's view to the other, a wide, soft river of light that seems to connect the palms on one ridge to those on another. The longer you look, the more stars you notice, as if they have been waiting for you to slow enough to see them. Your body feels heavier in the best way, anchored in the chair, anchored in the night. The mind feels lighter, like the mist drifting above the rocks. The waves keep arriving, keep breaking, keep pulling back, never stopping, never rushing. The night accepts each one, the sound folding into its endless calm. Inside the room, the curtain shifts again, the faintest sign of the breeze that connects here and there. That glimpse of the interior reminds you of the wide bed, the soft rug, the warmth that waits should you choose to return. But there is no pull to leave the balcony yet. It feels as though this is where the night breathes best. You draw another slow breath, letting it fill the chest, letting it fall away without effort. Every inhale carries the ocean further in. Every exhale releases it back. It is an exchange as old as the rocks, as familiar as the sway of the palms. The hook of the distant light has faded now, its place taken by the whole of the horizon, dark, steady, infinite. The sea, the sky, the balcony, your breath, all moving at the same unhurried pace. The kind of pace that asks for nothing more than to remain here, listening, feeling, and slowly letting everything else dissolve into the night's quiet. The chair beneath you holds its shape perfectly to yours, as if it has learned the weight and curve of your body. The blanket rests easily, no longer needing adjustment, its folds lying just where they should, warm enough to soften every trace of cool air. You notice how the fabric seems to breathe with you, moving slightly with each rise and fall of your chest. The air on the balcony has found its own balance now, neither cooler nor warmer, only constant, like a tide that has settled at its highest point. The sound of the ocean deepens here, not in volume but in tone, each wave carrying a slower rhythm, like the night itself has exhaled and found its calm. Your eyelids grow heavier between each blink, staying closed a little longer before opening again, the line between seeing and simply feeling becoming less distinct. The horizon softens in your vision. It is no longer a sharp divide, but a gentle meeting of two darknesses, the sea and the sky folding into one another. The palms above respond to some far-off breath of wind, their fronds turning in slow arcs, brushing together with the softest shiver of sound. That sound stretches out in your mind, like ripples expanding over still water, leaving you even more at ease. The bamboo chime answers with a low, rounded tone, its echo barely reaching the edge of the balcony before the night absorbs it completely. You focus on your breathing without needing to control it, just noticing how naturally it matches the swell of the ocean. Inhale as the wave gathers its height far out from the rocks. Pause as it hangs for a moment at its crest. Exhale as it folds forward, pouring itself into the deep, slow rush against the cliff below. The vibration travels up through the wood beneath your feet, a soft reminder that you are connected to every movement of the shore. The scent of the night is richer now. The salt has deepened, mingled with the faint green sweetness of palm leaves and the grounding note of old wood warmed by the day. Your mind does not wander far. Each thought rises slowly and dissolves into the sound of the water before it can take shape. The rocks below glisten faintly, catching moonlight in thin lines along their wet edges. Between the waves, the smaller pools lie still, their surfaces glassy, mirroring small fragments of the sky above. The largest rock, the one shaped like a figure, now appears to be looking upward rather than outward, its features shifting subtly in the moonlight. You let the image stay, not needing to decide what it means, only allowing it to be another piece of the night's slow tapestry. The stars are clearer still, as though the air has been rinsed clean by the tide. A cluster just above the palms forms a shape you almost recognize, but you choose not to name it, letting it remain part of the larger whole. The rhythm around you is unbroken. Wave, rustle, chime, quiet, wave. Each one stretches your sense of time further apart, leaving more space for stillness to fill. Your hands rest palm down on the arms of the chair now, no longer holding tension in the fingers. The wood feels cooler against your skin, the grain like a soft map beneath your touch. Inside, the curtain sways again, the motion slower now, its shadow against the lamp's light shifting like the breath of the room itself. The glow does not push against the night, it simply waits, a gentle promise of warmth should you choose to return. You close your eyes again, and the ocean seems to draw closer in the darkness. The sound fills the space where vision usually is, layering itself over the faint hum of night insects and the distant, softened calls of birds. Your breath drifts deeper, your body heavier, your thoughts lighter, until there is little distinction between them. When you open your eyes, the horizon is still there, the palms still swaying, the rocks still holding their quiet watch. Nothing has changed, yet everything feels more settled. A larger swell rises far out at sea, visible even in the moonlight's muted silver. You watch it roll forward, taking its time, its crest holding steady before it spills into the waiting rocks below. The mist lifts once more, climbing part way toward the balcony before disappearing into the air. It carries with it a cooler breath that brushes your face and settles over your hands, making the warmth of the blanket feel deeper in contrast. Your head tilts back slightly, eyes tracing the arc of the Milky Way again. It looks softer now, like a river seen through morning mist, each point of light steady but without sharpness. The space between stars feels as full as the stars themselves. Your shoulders sink further into the chair. The palms sigh above you once more, and the sound feels like a quiet reassurance. Everything here is moving, but nothing here is hurrying. Even the thoughts that appear now seem to arrive already slowed, already softened, like shells left smooth by the tide. You let them wash past without following them, the way the waves slide away from the rocks. The bamboo chime gives one last note, low and lingering, before settling back into silence. It leaves the air feeling even more open, even more still. The ocean continues, the palms continue, your breathing continues, all bound together in the same gentle cycle. The line between the balcony and the night blurs further. You feel less like someone sitting here, more like part of the scene itself. The kind of part that doesn't need to act, only to be. The chair holds you, the air wraps around you, the sound carries you, and the night keeps you unbroken as it moves deeper into its own quiet. The chair holds every part of you now. The blanket is warm where it touches you, soft where it folds. The air is calm, moving only in slow, invisible tides. The ocean's rhythm is steady and deep. You notice how your breath matches it without trying. Inhale as the wave swells in the dark. Pause as it reaches its crest. Exhale as it folds and flows back into the sea. Again, each breath a little slower, each pause a little longer. The sound of the palms above is softer now, almost part of the wind. Their leaves shift and rest, like they too are falling quiet. The bamboo chime is silent, as if it has nothing more to say. Your eyelids grow heavier between blinks. They rest a little longer each time they close. The horizon fades into one smooth shade of night. There is no line now between sea and sky, only darkness and the steady, gentle sound. The rocks below hold their shapes without moving. The mist drifts and disappears. Your hands are still, your shoulders are loose, your jaw is soft. You breathe, slowly, easily, deeply. Every sound is further away now. The ocean is still there, but it feels like it is keeping watch for you. The palms still move, but only to keep the air gentle around you. Even the stars seem to hold their place, as if pausing with you. The blanket is warm, the chair is steady, the night is endless, and in this endless night, you drift down and down into quiet, into stillness, into sleep.